Welcome back to Cherry Picking. Today we're hopefully going to fix my broken motor that I broke on my 69 Mustang. Let's get into it. That's right, today we're going to try to fix this old girl. Oop, that's gross. Because unfortunately in the last video you saw on this Mustang, I broke it, I think. Pretty good. We went ahead and we replaced the intake, and then all of a sudden, knock, 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 you know, knocking on heaven's door is what this motor was doing. So, in today's video, we're going to try to fix that, which basically means taking everything off the top of the motor, undoing everything I just did in the last video. Great. And then cleaning it out, whatever's in the cylinders, which we saw in the last video, and playing. And then clean everything that's in the cylinders out, all the metal chunks, whatever we dropped in there, which I'm kind of starting to think maybe it was like a lock washer or something, because that seems about the right size. We'll see when we get it off, but I got to get this thing running and driving again, because the past 2 weeks basically I've been out of town and it's been sitting here, and honestly I've missed it more than any of my other vehicles, and I've just been wanting to drive it, and I think that's a good tell to decide that I need to fix it. And I've been kind of dreading doing this because I just had everything off the top of this, and now I got to take everything off the top, but it's got to happen, and it looks so sad sitting here. It's been sitting here for 2 weeks, just getting dogged on by the weather and by a bunch of bird dookie. As you can see, there is bird poop all over this thing. It is completely covered, so we'll have to make sure we can get it running so we can get it out of here and clean it up since it's so disgusting, and then we'll drive it around. But well, that's about it. Let's get into it. Let's throw up the time lapse and take everything off this. I am at the point now of taking this head off. I just have these last 2 bolts, which are now out. And now here comes the fun part. This was super fun because I thought I could take this off without taking the entire exhaust apart, but you have to take this exhaust off from the bottom because the manifold blocks the head bolts, and even when you take the manifold off, there's no way to loosen those head bolts, so had to go underneath, jack it up, go underneath, unbolt it, you know. Anyways, we're ready to take this thing off, actually, almost ready. Got the alternator off, get this ground strap off, and put this back on the intake. Still looks relatively clean under here, which is a good sign, I guess, but here's the moment of truth. How badly did we mess up the motor? Oh boy, it's tight. There it goes. And apparently there's still some coolant in there. Cool. Anyways, let's take this bad boy off. Getting really good at this. Alright. Well, the head doesn't look too bad. But, oh yeah. Let me clean that out. However, I have some other concerns. Well, this one's been banging on something. What the hell? It's also weirdly clean. Well, come take a look at this. Well, the first thing I noticed is there is definitely metal chunks right there. Now, this is just from when I shoved this in the cylinder. But if we look on the top of our pistons, you can see for some reason they're weirdly clean around the edges, almost like there was a head gasket leak. And this one's actually got some marring on it from something, although I don't know how bad that one is, but the real bad one is back here. So if you take a look at that one, hopefully it shows down in there. Yeah, there's a lot of metal in there. Couldn't tell you from what, because it's almost non-existent at this point, but definitely a lot of metal. So we're going to clean this out and clean it out a bunch and take out the other side. We'll go ahead and take off the other head and clean it all good. Get it nice and spotless. Make sure there's no other metal in there, because I actually don't know what this is from. Obviously it's small, that or it was light enough that it could be beat up and turn into dust that quickly. I mean, it only ran for a few seconds realistically, off and on, but for a few seconds. But we'll clean it up, throw some new head gaskets on it, because I thought I was going to salvage these ones. I don't think I am, so we'll put new ones on, you know, be nice to it, I guess, and hope we didn't hurt it too bad. Let's get back to it. Alright, and this head's ready to come off. Definitely was a lot harder to get the manifold off than with the power steering. I think in the future it would be best to figure out a better routing system for the power steering lines. They want to come upwards, but it'd probably be better to run them straight down, although now that I'm looking at it, the oil filter is right in the way. Anyways, let's take this guy off. Drain for a sec. Alright. Let's see if we can get this guy out. This one's definitely much tighter, but not too bad. Alright, what do we got? Oh, completely full. Hang on. We gotta get all that liquid out. This side is fully full. Just be the one side. After looking at that other piston a little bit more, it actually looks like the bottom of the piston had melted. Oh, there's something in here too. There's a lot of debris in this. Why is there so much debris? What could I possibly have dropped that made its way into all, basically 5 or 6 cylinders? That's what it looks like. Yeah, this one's been hammered on too. What in the world? I don't know what I dropped, but somehow, not only did it make its way into multiple cylinders, it's broken apart in multiple cylinders, so it's almost like I sprinkled little bits of metal in there. I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up or not, but there's a piece right there that was in cylinder number, what is that, 7? Yeah, that was in 7. So, don't know what the chunkies are, but there sure are a lot of them. There sure are a lot of them. The good part is the cylinder walls don't look damaged or anything. That was my big worry. They still have good cross hatching. The one on the other side is, well, it's not perfect, but it ain't that bad. And this one's not nearly as clean either. So I don't know what happened on the other side. We must have lost the head gasket somewhere and just been burning just the slightest amount of coolant or something, because it's steam cleaned a little bit. Well, if it's broken, then engine rebuild, I guess. Well, it's been a few minutes and outfit change. And, well, just kidding on whatever I just said a few seconds ago about getting head gaskets and slapping it back together, because, well, after a little bit of further inspection and an opinion from some expert advice, I think this motor's toast. Well, let me explain. Kind of. Went ahead and took a closer look at that piston on number 4. Jeez, if this Raven would just stay quiet. Went ahead and peeped my eyes in a little bit closer on that piston, and well, the bottom of the piston's pretty badly messed up. It actually looks like it's melted almost, and you can see it in this shot that it's just not looking too good. In fact, it goes so low that I'm kind of concerned that it's right next to the ring ridge. So I have concerns about blowing up that piston and blowing up rings and ruining this motor further than it needs to. So I broke the motor. That's it. It's done. It's kaput for now. It basically just needs at least a single piston, if not two, because there's another one that looks like a check ball was bouncing around in there. Still have no clue what possibly could have fallen down, as it clearly split into multiple places. But it doesn't matter at this point, does it? So, moral of the story is, when you change an intake, make sure you clear out all your ports first. Just in case. Still don't know what it was. Whatever it was small, and it was in multiple pieces. Part of a carburetor? Who knows? But what I'm going to do now is basically take some plastic trash bag, cut it up, lay it over, set everything back on, because, well, this motor's going to be toast for a while. And what we're going to do is actually just going to do a motor swap when I have the time. So let me go ahead and show you which motor I'm talking about so you can get an idea. And the next time you'll see this thing, we'll be putting a motor in it, I guess. So that's cool. But, well, let me show you this motor. Now, if we come over here to the side of my house, I've got this carport that has a gate that's closed off that you'll see, well, it's full of parts. Let me show you. Now, first thing is, that's my old hood off the Mach 1. That's where I stored it because I am keeping it, but, well, the engine's just in there, so come on in. Well, if I unpile some of the stuff on here, you will see this guy. There is a, let me get down here. This is another 1969 351 Windsor that my dad bought 20 years ago when he first got his Mustang back. Because, well, this motor, even though it's a 2-barrel motor, it's nothing special. It's actually out of a Cougar. It's a Mercury 2-barrel. But it's an extremely, extremely, extremely close date code engine, which is why he bought it initially. Because, well, the date code is literally within 6 days of when the car was made. So it is correct for the car. The only thing is that it smokes really bad from what he remembers. And, well, it hasn't been torn apart to our knowledge. So this motor was the motor that was always intended to go back in the Mustang because of the date code, and it's a stock motor, nothing crazy, and it's not a 4-barrel motor, so it's not a 10.7 to 1 compression or whatever it normally is. It's 9.5 to 1 or something like that. But we're basically gonna just have to take this thing and re-ring it and put some bearings in it, hope that nothing's crazy wrong with it, and slap it in the car. But you're gonna see that right here on Cherry Picking. So I guess till next time when we fix the Mustang again. See ya.